Hi everybody, welcome back to a homemade homestead. Today we're going to be planting some of our cruciferous plants. That's our cauliflower, broccoli, and things like that, cabbages, and also our peppers. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with our peppers. Peppers we usually have a harder time with just because they can be a little bit more finicky. These take about 10 to 12 weeks before they're ready to put outside. Anyway, these ones are a little bit different. The plants we're planting today are different than the onions or anything that grows in like soup that can grow really well in clusters. And you can plant one or two, maybe even three at a time. But with these kind of plants, it's really just to increase the probability in case some of your plants die, or in case some of them get sick or just don't plain come up at all. You want to be sure to pinch them off or to pull one up, because they do better when they grow alone. These seeds are quite a bit different than the onion seeds were from a few weeks back. They're quite a bit larger. And also with these, I'm not planting them very deep. What I'm going to do is probably just push them down maybe like that, half a fingertip worth, and then cover them over. You don't want to plant them too deep. So that finishes off that variety. This particular variety was called King of the North. We'd never tried these before, so we figured we'd give them a shot this year. After you're done planting, grab some popsicle sticks or whatever you have on hand. Again, it doesn't have to be too fancy. We're going to be using these to label the kind of peppers that, or other kind of plants that we have. So you just write with a Sharpie is what we do. Now it's time for our good old-fashioned jalapeno hot peppers. I think everybody knows what kind this is. Most, if not all, of the peppers are the same. The ones that we plant, at least. The bell peppers and the jalapeno peppers, they all take 10 to 12 weeks before they're ready to go outside. Next up, we're going to try what's called the gypsy pepper. This is another experimental kind for us. My wife actually picked these up on a seed swap. This is going to be a lot of seeds, honey. We're only going to be planting a dozen of those just because they're a new variety. We're not sure if we'll like them or not. And I think that's it for the peppers. And peppers do need warmer soil to grow in, so once you plant them, if you can put them in under a grow light or in your windowsill, that would be ideal. Next up was the Copenhagen Market cabbages. This says plant 5 to 7 weeks before your last frost. So we're a little bit ahead of the gun, but the nice thing about these cabbages and other cruciferous varieties is they're very cold hardy, so they can take some colder temperatures, a little bit colder temperatures than some of our other plants like the peppers. As you can see, these seeds are significantly smaller than our peppers were. These are more along the lines of onion size. But we just do maybe 2 or 3 seeds per cell. We're starting to run a little bit low on popsicle sticks, but one thing else that you can do is get yourself some old window shades. If you happen to have some laying around, they're fairly cheap, easy to cut with scissors. They work just fine for writing on and putting down into the soil. And there you go. You just got yourself another 1,000 plant markers. Red cabbage, here we go.
Mama, who went potty last in my bathroom?
There's the red cabbage. We planted both a red cabbage and a green variety. They both taste amazing. We actually found that we like the flavor of the red cabbage a little bit better. The trade-off is that these don't store as well in your fridge. The green cabbages do okay, so that's a trade-off of theirs. The green cabbages store well, don't taste as good. As far as our preference goes, the red cabbages are our favorite. We just need to be sure to eat those ones first before the green cabbages. Next up are our white cauliflower. These ones are called the self-blanched cauliflower. Again, sticking with the cruciferous, so they are fairly cold hardy. These little guys we're back to planting 2 to 3 seeds per cell. These little guys are definitely not as fun to plant as the peppers. Teeny tiny little seeds. And we just keep on keeping on. It's worth it. Cauliflower are a lot like the peppers and the red cabbages, green cabbages. You just want to plant them about 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. One thing you should definitely think about trying is if you're going to be planting things that are these minuscule seeds, is to, if you're just planting with your fingers or your hands, is to make the indentation in the soil first and then come back and cover them after you've gotten the seeds all planted, because you don't want to be pushing the seeds down into the soil to get them to the depth you want them and then covering them, because after you do so many, if it's wet soil especially, the soil tends to stick to your fingers, as do the seeds, and it's real easy to transfer one seed to the next cell, and then you might end up with no seeds in one cell and 6 seeds in the next. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, last but not least, our broccoli. Everybody loves broccoli, right? Especially kids. These ones you want to plant 8 to 12 weeks before your last frost. Again, these are the smaller seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and make those little indentations first. So now that our indentations are all made, if you are anything like me, you have a tendency toward being a little bit OCD, you can even rinse your hands off, make sure they're good and dry, and that way there's even less likelihood of those seeds sticking to your finger. Again, planting 2 to 3 seeds per cell. Again, with all these seeds, as you're covering them, as you can see, I'm not packing them down, but you do want to make sure that the soil is down on the seed. You want good soil contact with the seed, as that's what softens the seed up and enables it to grow, sprout. Okay guys, that'll wrap it up for us today of our planting of peppers, both jalapeno and bell peppers, as well as our cabbages, broccolis, and cauliflowers. Look forward to bringing you guys along for our updates as these little guys germinate and begin their growth to maturity. See you next time.